Tell me about this, the benefits of an older workforce. This is an interesting point in the book because, again, I think we always used to think that, when you get old, you have to retire because you don't get it. You can't teach the old dog new tricks. The technology confuses you. We don't want grandpa working at our tech startup, right? Whether they say it or not, that's what they're thinking. But what you're saying, I think, especially if people adopt a lot of these concepts, is that this older workforce could be the thing we really need.
Yeah, so there are some caveats here that we should come back to in a second, but you mentioned at the start of the program, older adults, as we go into our 50s, there's changes in how the brain processes information. If we get it right, we can talk about what that getting it means in a second. As you said, we get access to whole new levels of intelligence. And this is stuff that's hard to come by earlier. So you get things like multi-perspectival thinking, the ability to see multiple points of view. You sort of lose black and white thinking. That tends to go away and you start to realize it's more nuanced. So all great big picture thinking, systems thinking really starts to come online. We also get new levels of creativity, and this includes divergent thinking, right? Outside the box, far-flung creativity, the hardest one to teach. And we get new levels of empathy and of wisdom. And my point is, so both, in my work on technology, with bold and abundance and the future faster than you think, and my work on peak human performance, I spend a lot of time talking to CEOs. And one of the conversations that is very frequent is training, hiring. How do we train employees? How do we hire? Like, usually it's around flow stuff, but I'm always asking CEOs, tell me about your dream employees. 21st century, what's the dream employee? And the answers I hear, the traits I hear most frequently cited as, I can't run a company without this, is one, I need really intelligent, really creative, really innovative employees, because the rate of change in the world is spectacularly fast. And if I can't keep pace, if I can't stay out ahead of it, I'm out of business. The second thing is I need wise and empathetic employees. Why? 3 reasons. The first is, we all know you can't run a business without psychological safety. This is something like we've all learned over the past 5 to 10 years. Foundationally, you need psychological safety, and that's really difficult without empathetic, wise employees. You also, everybody's business, I'm a writer, and that's got to be one of the most solo careers you could possibly have. And I will say at least 60% of everything I do is still done as a team, right? Maybe even more than that. So team performance. Team performance is all about collaboration, cooperation, which is all about empathy and wisdom. And finally, Jeff Bezos, clearly claimed the mantra for 21st century business is customer-centric thinking. And I don't think that's changed, but if you're not empathetic or wise, nobody's thinking like your customers. So my point is, holy crap, people in their 50s who are properly trained and continuing to properly train, this is a dream workforce. This is a business revolution waiting to happen. And I'm not the only one who's noticed this, right? A lot of people have sort of been, because the peak performance, what we're now calling peak performance aging, 5 or 6 or 7 years ago was like 11 different fields. Healthy aging, successful aging, geriatric psychiatry, embodied cognition, flow science. I keep going on and on and on. It's coalesced into this new thing that we're calling peak performance aging. But there's a bunch of people in it, and we've all seen the same data. We've all run our own experiments, and across the board, there's things you'll hear like, don't retire. Retirement's terrible, right? That's something people across the board in peak performance aging tend to say. But everybody else who's looked at the same thing came to the same conclusion. Holy crap, there's a business revolution waiting for us. Now, it doesn't mean you want to hire every older adult. There's a couple of caveats. So one, you need to look for people who have passed through the successful gateways of adult development, which are, you need to know who you are, solve the crisis of identity. You need to have a match fit, like a tight fit between who you are, your identity, and what you do in the world, right? It's got to align with your values, your purpose. And then around the age of 50, we got to forgive those who have done us wrong. We can do those things. Those are the gateways of adult development. And then in our 50s, 3 things matter. To unlock all these new thinking styles, these new superpowers, we actually have to engage in creative activity. It's the pattern recognition underneath creative activity that starts to take advantage of these brain changes. So the brain's going to change anyways. Can you take advantage of it? You need creative thinking to sort of really unlock it. And then once you start to unlock it, two things matter. One, you got to train against physical fragility, because what good is all this new brain power if your body's falling apart, right? So the 5 aspects of functional fitness start to matter there. And two, and this is something that you said in your lead in, don't hire grandpa, he doesn't get technology, can't. And it's because of risk aversion. Older people are more risk adverse than younger people. Some of it has to do with brain shrinking. So as our brain shrinks, processing speed gets impacted and the brain goes, oh shit, you're a little slow, you're one step behind. So let's be a little cautious. We talked about how exercise improves hippocampal volume and things like that, so you can fight against it, but there's a cause there. And if you're more risk adverse and you're more fearful, there's the downstream consequences. It will block creativity. It actually blocks a bunch of these new levels of intelligent. Fear blocks empathy. You get selfish. You don't get empathetic when we're scared. And fear blocks learning. So wisdom doesn't accumulate, right? Because we won't learn. It'll block learning. So there's a big fear. There's a big risk aversion penalty. You actively have to be training against risk. And we talked a lot about physical challenges may be slightly better for that. I'm not saying there aren't a lot of other kinds of risks, emotional, social, intellectual, right? That sort of stuff that are worth training and getting good at. But the physical side is there too. So a well-trained over 50-year-old is the dream. It's that these are your dream workers. Now, do we screen workers that way? No. And I'll give you a radically different example. We're, in the middle of an election cycle in America. And a lot of the candidates are over 70. And there's a lot of talk about, we should test their brain power and all that stuff. And maybe what I really think is you should look at their life and start asking questions about the quality of their social relationships, lifelong learning, wisdom, expertise, the 5 categories of functional fitness, and how often they're training them. Like, those are the questions that are way more important to me than a cognitive test, because I get worried about these cognitive tests and how you're assessing certain things. Could you probably come up with the right one? Yes. Do I trust people to do it? No, I don't. Yeah. But there are signs that you can look for, and you're like, okay, this is going to be a vibrant over 50-year-old who is my dream employee, and we want them for sure.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just in overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you gotta pay for it, but it's so worth it.
Pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.